Hey guys,
How y'all doing?
it's me. I know it's been a while, but I promise you, this time I'm going to stay and I'm going to stay consistent for all of you guys. I know I said this in the last 3 videos, but this time I promise I'm a changed person. As you can see from this title, we are going to be looking at a very eye-opening manual called Cigarette Burns. I read this because of Pinterest, because I saw the art and I was like, wow, it might be actually really cool. Then I read the 7 chapters and I was actually traumatized. I genuinely feel like I saw the worst type of character possible. The biggest villain in a BL I've ever seen. I read like 5 BLs, but this man takes the crown. Because he is just a menace for no reason. And I want to share this story with you guys. Because if I go through something traumatizing, so do you all. Because we are in this together. Yes, I have built up this family from scratch. So without wasting any more time, let's rant about it. Before we properly start the video, I just want to preface that in no way am I hating on BL or BL readers. Nope. I'm just hating on the sadistic characters within this series and nothing else. So yeah, let's get back into the video. So Nyo has lived a life of violence and degradation within the Bakya crime syndicate. Sorry in advance because I know I'm going to slaughter these names, so I'm so sorry for my mispronunciation. But since No's teenage years, he's been owned and abused by Inyop, the sadistic heir to the organization. And this man basically brands Nyo with literal cigarette burns and just puts him through emotional trauma day in and day out. And Nyo has become Inyop's ashtray, both physically and metaphorically. So the story starts off with Inyop telling No that he's gonna go on a business trip with him. And here in this business trip, No and 2 of the other people in the gang decides to go eat out. And while they're eating out at a restaurant, No notices similarities between the food served there and his brother's food. And when he looks up, he realizes the man that served them the food is his brother. And all of a sudden, he becomes really emotional and then really scared. Because turns out he had made a promise with Inyop that he would never come in contact with his brother, let alone even see him like this. So now that he's seen his brother after all these years, he's really taken aback, really happy, but also really, really scared.
But why?
So basically, No was in this orphanage, right, with his 2 other friends, Hee-sung and Minso. And one day, these guys find out they're being sponsored by someone higher up and technically getting adopted. And once these 3 hear about this, these guys are so excited. And all of these guys get sent to Inyop's house where they meet the young Inyop. And this is the first time No ever sees him, and he's a bit kind of taken aback by him because he just gets the creeps from him. I mean, who wouldn't? But little does this man know his life is about to turn into hell, because when he meets Inyop for the first time, his other friend Hee-sung suddenly starts to kiss his ass, he's just hey, I'm Hee-sung, this and that. And after a while, Minso and Nyo starts to see that Hee-sung kind of is on Inyop's side all the time now. He's always following Inyop around and never with them no more. One day, Nyo realizes that his friend Hee-sung, he seems to be more withdrawn now, and he swears to himself that he starts to see cuts on Hee-sung's body. And he's kind of oh my god, what the hell is going on? And all of a sudden, Hee-sung dies. And now Nyo's what? And then Nyo kind of feels a bit iffy about Hee-sung's death. But then when he's at the funeral, Inyop comes and Nyo swears to himself that he heard Inyop laugh. That day while Nyo's sleeping, Minso, his other friend, escapes. He just runs away. And now Nyo's all by himself. And after many, many more days in the house, he becomes Inyop's next target. And guys, when I tell you this man gets put through hell, I mean hell. Nyo wanting to escape and just wanting to live his own life, he comes across his own documents from the orphanage in Inyop's house, and he finds out that he has a brother somewhere out there. So he decides to go find his brother, right? And Inyop finds out about this and he basically stabs his brother up. Yeah. he stabs Neo's brother up, and he basically threatens him that he's gonna kill him. But Neo's like, no, please, please don't kill my brother. I'll do anything for you. I'll become like your ashtray. Just like let him live. Inyop accepts this request and bans him from ever seeing his brother. And now after all these years, Neo has found his sibling, so he has to keep this under wraps so that the spawn of the devil does not find out about this. So that day, Neo comes back from the restaurant, and when he gets home, he realizes Inyops came back early, and he's kind of taken aback by this. But Inyop invites him to eat with him, right? And Neo's already like full, but he's like, okay, yes, because he knows what this maniac is going to do to him if he says no. But he's eating, and then he's just there like, oh, like, boss, I don't want too much. And then Inyop's like, why? And then he says that he's already eaten. And then Inyop basically slams this man's head down, and he's like, who the hell told you to eat? And I kid you not, the next thing I'm seeing is this man is essaying him, like, full on. And I was just there like, what?
What?
After that, Neo still continues to see his brother, but one day when he gets home, obviously this man's already like beaten within an inch of his life. He has like bandages all over him. But after seeing his brother, Inyop calls him in, and Inyop has found out that Neo's been seeing his brother behind his back, and yet again, Inyop puts him through the worst of the worst punishments possible. You guys could already guess where this is going. During this humiliation that he puts Neo through, he basically tells him that Neo's brother is under like a lot of debt, and he basically asks him, oh, shall I pay it all off? And Neo's like, yes, please. Like, as long as it helps his brother, he does not care, right? And then one night, Neo wakes up and he hears like Inyop talking to like the other guys, and basically Inyop and this other guy like goes out, and Neo's like, oh, what's going on? Basically, Neo comes across this document that's just on the desk, right? And his eyes widen and he's like, no, this has to be a joke. Because in the document, it's like a genetic analysis report. And basically, it shows that the guy who Neo thinks is his brother is not his brother. So this entire time, Inyop was playing with him, because Neo did find like he had like a brother somewhere out there in Inyop's house, right? But technically Inyop had planned all of that out back in the day. And for these like past 10 years or something, Neo was running after or was protecting a man that was not even related to him. And when Neo finds this out, he's just so taken aback. And then he just realizes that he would never win against a man like Inyop. And he just accepts his fate. And that's how the manhwa ends.
Huh?
Do I blame Pinterest for making me read this? Yes, I do, because I genuinely thought this was a wholesome manual, and I was just there like, yeah, maybe this would be good, and 7 chapters, wow, I could easily finish this, but I was tricked. I was very much tricked, and this is what I get for traumatizing myself so early on in the morning. But guys, I genuinely hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I know I have not been uploading. I promise you I will start to. Let me just get back into the routine, okay? And let me just try and find like manuals. Like, I'm slowly going through my list and I'm like, oh, which one shall I go through? And I see like some of them have like 35 chapters to read, and I'm like, is it really worth it? But no, genuinely guys, I promise to you I'll be a more consistent human being. And with saying that, I genuinely hope you guys have like a wonderful day. You know, stay safe, stay hydrated. If any of you are doing your exams right now, good luck with all of that. And with that, toodles!